But well, there was a few things that I wanted to discuss, but there's one particular thing. Let me go over here. I need y'all to give me y'all opinions on this ish. Hold on, let me hit mute. I don't know how many of y'all seen that. A lot of times when we discuss stuff, especially if it's trending news, y'all kind of already know what it's about, or y'all done heard about the story. But yeah, we like to bring to the hood table, especially on our Friday nights, different things that might be trending in the news that's going out. That's going on, I should say. But this next story, y'all, if y'all haven't heard about this, or if you have, I just want your opinions on it because I was very disturbed. Like very disturbed. Grown. See, there's times where I know kids can get on our nerves. Like kids can really get on our everlasting. Hey, I got two of them. Okay, I got two boys. Kids can get on your everlasting nerves, but we as adults, there's just certain times that we have to be like, okay, I'm gonna be an adult here. I'm gonna be an adult here, especially when you're dealing with somebody else's kid, especially with children in schools, things like that. But see, that's also why, and Tanya loves the kids. Everybody know I love the kids, my little cousins, my friends' kids, all that. But oh no, not that one, Mario. We talked about that last week. Yep, we did a video on that last week. And that was, man, I'm telling you, like I said last week, each one of them daycare workers needed their ass whooped, and I would have been glad to give it to them, had them been my kids. But like they said last week when we did our show last week, had that been, see, none of them kids, and I hate to be stereotypical sometimes, but sometimes you just gotta tell it like a TI is, okay? None of them kids was black. And that's all I gotta say right there. When it comes to them daycare kids who had the daycare workers running around with the screen mask scaring them lifeless, to see the terror on those 2, 3, 4-year-olds, yeah. Like I said, none of those kids was black. Just trust and believe. It would have been a black mama and a black daddy down at the daycare kicking the dough in. Trust. But anywho, this next story that we're going to discuss, it deals with a Detroit school bus driver who got in a fight with how old was the girl? I think the girl was 12 on the bus. So let's check this out, okay? And y'all make sure y'all give me y'all opinions on what y'all think about this story. And I'm gonna hit mute so I can make sure y'all hear it really good.
That explains what allegedly started this whole thing.
The evilness in her eyes that I seen while she was attacking her, I just felt so helpless. And I just felt so sorry for my child.
Just a 12-year-old. This mom says her daughter, Amira Brown, a 7th grader, was the victim of a vicious attack by a school bus driver.
I don't think she know how she is. She is just quiet and she just looks sad.
It happened this week near the Carver STEM Academy on Detroit's west side, a Detroit public school. Chrissy Coakley says her daughter's bus stopped when it happened.
She was waving at her brother, and she was approached and tapped and told her to sit her ASS down.
Then she says her daughter called the bus driver out for cussing, and that's when she says the driver started wailing on her child.
I thought it was a fake video when the family contacted me last night.
The family hiring well-known attorney Lillian Diallo, who says the bus driver even bit Amira in the face.
It was such a vicious attack. How does a grown woman bite a child? Bite, not just the beating part. You bit her in her face.
The bus driver, of course, with a very different story as to what led up to that video. The bus driver says she was telling the little girl to calm down and sit down. That's when the little girl went to the front of the bus and swung first.
That's not true. Oh, now, listen here. They are wrong for even saying something like that.
The school released a short statement to us saying they contract a third party to run their buses, a company called Trinity. Trinity has suspended that driver from service, and she's facing termination. The attack is also being investigated for criminal charges, too.
She needs some help, and I pray for her. She needs some help. Something is definitely psychologically wrong with her to be able to do that.
And her daughter beaten up, bruised, fearful to go to school. Reporting on Detroit's West Side, Jessica Dupnack, Fox 2 News.
Mm-hmm. See, watching that right there had me like speechless. Yeah, Pandy, like, can you believe that? I was like, when somebody sent me that, one of my co-hosts, because we have like a group chat, me and my Friday night panel, we have a group chat. So we be sending stories, posting stories in there that might be interesting to discuss, And somebody sent that and put that in our group chat. And I was like, you kidding me? Now, there has been fights or bus drivers who put their hands on kids before, but I ain't never seen nothing like that. And it was all on camera. And from what the mother of the child is saying, the school bus driver even bit the kid in the cheek. Like she did a whole Mike Tyson on a kid. She did a whole Mike Tyson on the kid. Not only was she beating the kid, but bit the kid in the cheek. See, woosah. I'll be ready to fight. See, I don't know. Some people is a little bit more mature, and I know I'm in my 40s. But the mentality that I have from growing up and fighting a lot, and that's still, a little bit of that kind of stays with you, no matter what age you get. Especially when it involves your loved ones, people you really care about, your children. Like, I would have seen that video. I'm like, where's she at? I'm like, you bit my child in the cheek? And she's 12. Like, the child looked like she barely weighed probably 100 pounds, if that. And then the bus driver said that from what the bus driver is saying. Now, we ain't seen, this is just the footage from, it looks like what happened from this angle. A kid, of course, recorded it. And it looks like, how you something pop off and you don't be recording at the beginning because you don't know it's about to pop off. But as soon as the shit hits the fan, you put that thing on record. And so that's what it looks like. Like they caught them after they started fighting. So as far as the bus driver saying the kid walked up to her and hit her while she was in her seat, while she was in her driving, seat, they're saying, the attorney saying, I don't even know why they would lie and say that. So obviously there is cameras on the bus, and most buses are supposed to have cameras. I think all buses are supposed to have cameras, right? So I'm waiting on the footage from the school bus camera. I'm waiting on the footage because the driver, if there is cameras on that bus, the driver should know that the whole thing was recorded. And if the child did not go up there and hit the driver first, I don't know. Okay. Let me see. Let's think of this another way, okay? Yeah, she was fighting her like, I'm telling you. Ooh, child, I'm telling you. I done told y'all before about this fight I was in when I was like 12 years old. And I don't only think I was 100 pounds. I was probably like 90 pounds or something because I used to be real little a long time ago. But and I got in a fight with this chick who was much bigger than me. She was much taller than me. She was probably like 6 foot. I was like 4'11", and we was scrapping. I was getting it too, boy. I was getting it too. So shoot, you take them down like like that giant in the Bible, okay? So But yeah, the girl was getting with her. She really was. And there's another video I had posted. Y'all gonna have to check that video out. There's another video I had posted. It's a video from our local city from Omaha, and it was two females who got into it at a gas station, and they both wanted to fight another lady, but that other lady's daughter jumped in, and she was beating the brakes off of this woman, and the daughter probably was about 12, maybe, give or take, and she was beating the brakes. I mean, she was dog walking that lady in the gas station right here in my city, and that shit was, it was epic. But yeah, the girl, she was fighting. But when you look at it this way, like, okay, if the bus driver just walked up to the girl and the girl didn't do what she asked her to, and she started fighting the girl, that's messed up. It's messed up all the way around. Like I said, sometimes you just gotta let these kids do what they gonna do and write their asses up, because you can end up in jail for putting your hands on somebody's kids. Who wants to go to prison for just because some kid was mouthing off to you? You know, and then you gotta go to jail, go to prison. You're gonna have this charge. You can't no longer work around kids. You can't no longer work for no schools or daycares or anything else like that. You know, if the charges stick and you actually get, you know, convicted and all that. So sometimes you just gotta take one for the team. You guys take one for the team, like, for real. Like, see, that's why I don't do. Although I love kids and I'm like the protector. I really am. I'm like, when something happens to a kid, I'm like, I'm all ready to go, like, for real. But I don't have the patience to deal with kids that I don't know. Like, smart mouths, talking back, throwing stuff at you, trying to hit you, you know, all that kind of stuff these kids be doing in school and stuff. I don't have the patience. I don't have the patience. So I know to avoid those type of situations, right? Because I ain't trying to get locked up because somebody's knuckleheaded ass kid is being disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? But, and Mario said, even if that child swings, there is procedure. Yeah, there is a procedure. You do not engage. Now, protecting yourself, like if a kid is jumping on you and stuff like that, I can see protecting yourself, trying to restrain them, you know, something like that. But that bus driver was swinging and banging, boy. They was swinging and banging. And what's up, bro? Did you see that video? Ooh,
Yeah, I said
today.
praise white Jesus.
You said praise white Jesus. I don't know how he feel about this situation, bro.
I said,
And most buses
it
do
was
have cameras, don't they, bro? Like, shouldn't all the buses these days have cameras?
yeah, it still shouldn't have went down the way it went down, but I know how that goes.
Now, what would you have
I
done?
know how.
But let's say the bus driver is telling the truth. And granted, we haven't seen the bus footage yet. We just seen somebody's kid's cell phone footage. But let's say that you or any of y'all in the chat, let's say y'all was the bus driver and the bus driver's story is true, that she told the child to sit down, get in her seat or whatever, and the child walked up to her and just bopped her in the back of her head while she was, you know, trying to drive or control the bus. What would you have done? How would you have handled that, bro?
Whooped her ass. You gotta whoop her ass. Because for one, you're driving a 10+ ton vehicle with other lives on it. And for you to even touch me in the back of my head because you feel the need to be in your feelings, yeah, I would have slowly stopped the bus and gave her a straight up, I gave her one of them Bernie Mac from head of state backhand. And then we went right back to driving the bus. And then I would have, as soon as she got to the thing, I would call her mama. I would have called her parents and I would say, listen, hey, if y'all wanna catch a fade, we can do that right here, right now. If y'all wanna go to court, we can do that too. But because your child persisted to put their hands on me and assault me and slap me in the back of my head while I'm driving this 10+ ton vehicle with 10, 15, 20 other doggone kids that got to get home to their lives. Why is your child's life more important than mine and these other kids? She shouldn't have put her hands on me, so that's why she got a 5-finger discount. and go
See,
from there.
I can't wait to see the footage from the bus, though. I like you got me up here so tickled. I'm trying not to laugh.
I'm
But
dead
that's
serious,
how
man.
a lot of people would do the same thing. Like
I would
in a situation, if a child was to just spill off on you, just punch you, like sometimes it's the reaction. Like, no, the hell you did. Like when you got really quick reflexes too, it's like bow bow. You know.
So she would have got beat up. No, I'm
Get them
sorry.
hands.
I don't mean to. I don't beat up on kids.
She
would have got beat up.
I don't beat up on kids either. But see, I guess it's, I don't know. If that was the case, if that's truly the case and the child hit her first, I guess you just got to be in that situation. But if the bus driver just walked up on that kid and just started fighting with that kid, then that's an issue. That's an issue.
Yeah, that's an issue.
That kid, it needs to, but if that kid hit them first, just like if an adult was to hit a kid first, I want charges put on that kid. Send their ass to boot camp.
Just, have you ever seen a bus crash? Have you ever seen the victims of an actual bus crash?
Man,
that shit is dramatic, man. That shit is that will cause PTSD even in the most hardened criminal killer on the planet. That shit will give them nightmares to see kids' bodies and shit mangled all up and all that. That ain't nothing to be playing with.
It's not. And hey,
And like I said, hey, sis.
Hey, y'all.
Hey,
what the hell going down?
We talking about that video of the kid and the bus driver.
Oh yeah, that was here, girl. That was a hot mess. But let me tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta be straight up honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't no reason under the sun why that woman bit that baby in the face.
That's what I'm saying. Even if y'all was fighting, did you have to bite her?
I don't care.
She bit her?
Yeah, she bit her in the face.
Okay, that's a little bit. Okay, yeah, that's
baby. You hear the baby in the background screaming, "I'm scared! I'm scared!"
She Mike Tyson the hell out of her.
No, she gave her to Jeffrey Dahmer. She thought she was gonna get
eight. Girl, it was terrible. It was really bad, girl.
It was bad, and I watched the video, but a lot of people agree that if the child, we gotta watch if you get the footage before I do, sis, so please share it with us because I need to see
the footage of the bus. It was on the news.
No, I want to see the bus video.
Yeah,
the bus video. Oh, the with the kids. Yeah. Yeah, no. I didn't.
I want to see the bus surveillance because that driver said that the kid walked up to her while she was in her driver's seat.
That's what she said.
But the lawyer is saying that ain't what happened.
And I think the kid said this wouldn't happen either. I think
somebody lied.
Yeah, somebody lying.
Yeah, because from what I heard, that the baby is a real quiet kid, and what happened was the lady cussed somebody out, and the girl said something like, "Oh, she cussing," or something like that, or saying something to her about her cussing, and she didn't like because the kid checked her about her cursing, but. I don't care what that child did. That
still seems a bit much, though. Even if a kid,
I don't care what that baby did, honey. You number one, that's just the rule of thumb. You can't put your hands on somebody's kid. Now I understand some of these kids are off the chain.
Yeah, and if they come swinging and banging,
some of them are off.
That's all I can
swinging and banging. Then sometimes you gotta wrap them up. You gotta do something.
Yeah, some of these kids are definitely off the chain, and people can say what their kids won't do, but honey, I'm a witness. When the mama and daddy away, the cats will play. There was
I'm a witness. I was that kid.
But listen, girl. We one night we were coming from the movie theater. And there was a movie theater that wasn't far from it was we're near a strip mall. And so what happens is you see a lot of kids, parents would drop them off and pick them up when the movie was over. But there was a McDonald's up there. So what happened was A lot of times you might say, look, keep your butt right here. I'm going to drop you off right here and I'm pick you up right here. Oh, but like most kids, when you pull off, they go out another door and they do what they going to do. Because it ain't like you going to get them no essay on what they just watched at the movies. These kids used to leave and go to McDonald's, girl. When I tell you that these kids, this young boy was with his dad, and the kids got so disrespectful, they were trying to jump on this man's son while he was with his son. They jumped on the man, jumped on his son. One of the kids took his shirt off. It was in the wintertime and was out there with no shirt on fighting this grown man. The man took his belt off and started swinging it at the kid. You could tell he was a very respectful man. And his son was, you could tell his son was like under his control. You know what I'm saying? But they tried to jump on the boy because I guess the boy kind of was like a little square kind of thing, whatever. They tried to jump on that boy in front of his daddy. His daddy was not having it.
Hey, no, I told y'all about, y'all know I told y'all about that time when my son got jumped right in front of my eyes. I was going to pick him up from an after-school program. They jumped him right in front of my eyes. He was minding his own business, playing basketball, and two boys just jumped off the bleachers and started fighting him. And I dropped all my shit, took off, and we was all bam, 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 bam. But
there you go, man.
No, you ain't about to jump my kid, and I'm going to stand there and say, please get off.
And then they want to press charges on you because you're an adult. We all
pressing charges. Shit, I'm pressing charges.
But I'm saying they want to press charges on an adult because they feel like, oh, okay, you out here doing this, that, and the third. But see, these kids, people just don't understand. You leave your kids away. They not, honey, this apple bottom sweetie pie. You think they are. Nope.
No, a lot of parents, they know exactly how their kids are. They know exactly how they are.
Because I know some that gets out there and gets down with them. Bro, when I had my daughter, my middle daughter, my cousin and her mom, my little cousin went to the same school as her, and they got into a fight. My little cousin's mom pushed my daughter in there in the middle of the fight with him. I was so pissed, girl. I was so pissed. I was like, hold on.
I'm that kind of person. If it's the last resort, don't let nobody hit on you. Don't let nobody abuse you. If it's like, if you can walk away.
Oh, it turned out being a big school brawl, girl. It was
I used to be that kid that just walked away and be like, I don't want to fight. And then after a while, I was like, forget that. People will keep picking at you, and you try to just knock their ass out for them to leave you alone.
Yep.
Gonna learn today.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I'm gonna mute the phone. Hold on, y'all.
You're right. You're gonna learn today. But yeah, if your child is gonna jump right in front of you, I don't see no reason why you should sit there. And what you gonna do? Call the cops? My child is getting up. Remember the kid who, bro? Where was that at? Like, was that here in Omaha? Or was that somewhere else where some kid was getting jumped at school and they died?
That's been all over the country. That's didn't happen.
I know, but it was like one that was really, really in the news and trending, and it was a little girl. I remember it was a teenage girl.
Oh, you talking about over in South Omaha?
Was it here? Mario, was that your cousin?
Years. I think that was some years back.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Yeah, that was some years back.
Oh my God, that was your cousin? I remember that like it was yesterday. And I was like, oh man, South High. That's my alumni.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that was one of my OG partners. I was one of his great nieces, I think.
Yep. I remember that like it was yesterday. And so that's my thing. If you seeing a child get jumped, anything can happen within a few minutes of them getting beaten or kicked or they head hit the concrete. I think with that girl, with Mario's cousin, I think her head hit the concrete. And that was so sad. And all the other kids were just standing around and just watching. So yeah, when my son was getting jumped, I jumped right in. and it was two boys that was fighting him, and I jumped right in. And my son had one of them. He was getting that one good. He had one underneath him, and he was just welling on him. But then the other boy was punching him in the back of the head, so I had to jump in. I'm like, I'm not about to stand around.
My
You hit him in the back of you should have hit him in the back of the head till he shitted on himself.
I'm not about to stand around.
One of my nieces.
He was straight shit on
Indiana,
himself.
she, real pretty girl.
Yep, she had an asthma attack. That's what it was, Mario. Sorry, Cislo. That's what it was. She had an asthma attack. Yep.
Oh, that's okay.
I remember that. Mm-hmm.
One of my nieces in Indiana, real pretty. Her and her sisters are like athletes. All of them are athletes, and she's real cute, real shapely, and all this and that. Girls in the school, you know, picking on her, whatever. And she had a lot of good friends or what have you. But this one particular girl, bigger than her, and I guess she felt like because she was bigger than her, that my niece was going to be afraid of her. Well, y'all, this girl kept messing with my niece to the point to where finally my niece just got mad. I mean, she was like taunting her, and she called herself going to jump on her because Jonna was small or what have you, and she was bigger than Jonna. Girl, Jonna got so mad, she knocked the girl down, put that chair over her.
I know that's right.
Had the girl pinned up under the big old girl, pinned on the chair, and she sat on Jonna sat in the chair and went to work on her tail. That big old chick, she had her pinned, them 4 legs was around, you know, had her torso, like her waist, her hips was under 2 legs, her arms was the other 2, and Jonna went to work on her. She said,
I'm telling you, like Goliath,
she pinned her tail in that big girl in that chair and went to work on her tail. I said, and I bet you better not do nothing to her. She said, honey, I took her out to lunch.
I
took her out to lunch. She said, I told her, good. I'm glad you finally stood up to her because the girl.
Because you gotta defend yourself. Like it comes to a point, like when my son's first fight, my oldest one, his first fight, it was because a boy kept picking on him, and the boy was just a bully, a school bully. So he picked on a lot of kids. And my son wore glasses, and he was a little overweight back then. So the boy would tease him and stuff, and he would like knock his glasses off. I mean, he would just do all these things.
Just being mean.
We tried every route, talking to the teacher, talking to the principal, because like I said, I always raised them to like try to work it out because you can't fight all the damn time. You know what I'm saying? So they wasn't doing nothing. The boy still bothering him. I said, okay, the next time he do anything to you, you better dog walk his ass. And like 2 days later, the boy walked past my son and knocked all his schoolwork on the floor. And my son got up and commenced to whooping that ass. And the boy ended up being suspended for 3 days, but my son for a week because they said how bad he was whooping that boy's ass. They was like, we have to go get extra teachers because your son was not letting go of that boy. And I was
boy.
And when he left, when I picked him up from school, we went straight to McDonald's. You want some?
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I did my oldest daughter like that. My oldest daughter, this boy was messing with her, and she kept asking. You know, she kept telling him, you know, leave her alone. He was speaking with. I think he kind of liked her, but he didn't know how to go about it or whatever. Girl, this boy got on her. That girl nerve so bad, she took her umbrella. Her little strawberry shortcake umbrella.
Oh no!
And beat his tail with it. Beat his tail. I wonder why my baby didn't get off at her stop when I went, you know, to pick her up from the bus. That when I met her at the bus stop, she didn't get off at her stop. And I called the school. I was like, "Why is my child not on? Oh, we have her here in the office for what?" Well, she got into a fight and she's going to be suspended. I said, she got into a fight? Yes, and she's going to be suspended because she should have I said, What do you expect for her to do? Just sit there and get whooped? She wasn't supposed to get him off of her?
You're supposed to get beat up.
No, ma'am. Unfortunately, we have a no
fighting.
violence
I hate
policy.
that.
I
But
said,
I hate
guess
that
what?
shit because
I
it's
said that's
like,
fine, but I'm taking her out for ice cream. Suspend her if you want to.
but
She
that's
going out for ice
wrong. I
cream.
have always thought that was wrong. Like, if
Yes.
a child defends themselves, like, what they supposed to just get beat up? That's not fair. If a child just keep bothering a child and they telling, they reporting it, we having all these goddamn meetings, and all this kind of stuff, and a child gets their ass whooped by your child because that child put their hands on them. Both of them kids should not be suspended. I hate that rule.
Yep. And then my middle daughter, girl.
It's been going on for ages.
This girl.
I know.
This girl started out supposed to be her friend, but she really wasn't ever her friend in the first place. She just wanted what my daughter had, because my daughter had a phone, you know, this and all this other little kind of stuff. And the girls, they wouldn't do nothing. I went up to the school 5 times for this one little girl. Her mama went up, oh, my daughter doesn't do this. My daughter don't do this. Da, 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 da. I go to work and I work hard and da da da. I was okay. This same little girl that was messing with my baby, as soon as she got out of school one day,
got her
that
ass.
girl came out. No, the girl came and hit my baby in the face with a lock. Fractured the inside of her left eye.
Oh, that's a hell of a laugh.
It chipped the bone. Girl, they said with the lock and everything, but when they jumped on her, all her friends and her, they said my baby, it was a big circle around my daughter, and she whooped the doodle out there.
Don't tell me she put a lock in a sock. You know that old trick.
No, she had a lock on one of those long things you put around your neck and put your keys or your ID and stuff on.
Okay.
She had a lock on one of them. She swung and hit my baby in the face with it. Honey, when she did that, and then some other girls jumped in to try to help her, it was me and my girl. Once her auntie found out, it was a wrap. My auntie, my nephew, it was like 2 or 3 of my nephews, my ex-husband, who was crazy anyway, my nephew's wife, and it was about 10 of us deep. The security came and tried to stop us at the door. He's like, y'all waiting on y'all. It's too many of y'all, and it ain't enough for us. Please, 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 whatever. I was like, no. I said, you know how many times we done been up here for this same thing? And she had a lot. I was like, oh, it's about to go down now. It's too late for all of this and the other. No. And she begged. We're going to have to call the police. Do what you got to do. I said, because that's what y'all should have did in the first place.
Call on Jesus, email a prayer, but somebody about to get
well, if you all go straight down there, we're gonna fax down the information, her ID, we can't get y'all the information, but we're gonna give it to the police. We're down there. I went on, we pressed charges on the girl.
Yeah, because she could have lost her sight or
yes. They pressed charges. So the prosecutor called me. I said, listen, this girl is 14 years old. I don't want the child having a felony on her record at 14, but she can't be putting her hands on my kids. So they said, well, I said, y'all got some kind of program that's going to help her to keep this felony off her record, whatever.
Shit.
Guess what? This is what the prosecutor said.
Federal.
He said, Miss Payne, the only reason why I'm doing it is because you asked. He said, but the first time she don't show up for a class, the first time she mess up, it's going to be a felony.
Mm-hmm.
Do you not know that child, Curtis went to leave. Do you not know that child
is bothering me very groceries today and the fruit fry is frying around the house. Sorry.
Girl, I get it. The very first class that girl missed, her mama left and went to work. Her sister called her mom and said the girl crawled out the dang on window and was gone. She missed the very first class. She had a felony on her record before you knew it. So you get some of these.
Oh, she needed that felony. I wouldn't even.
Yeah,
I don't
she
care.
didn't even
hit that baby with a lot and bust her eye.
That's a whole lot of ass whooping.
Yup.
Put that lock on her handcuffs because that's the next lock she gonna see.
No, put the lock on her ass because that would have been your ass, Mr. Postman.
Did your daughter ever get her? Did she ever get a chance to get a rematch?
Could she even paint?
That would have been one rematch that I would have had to have.
Yeah, she had to pinch. She had to get pinched, beat up and pinched.
Man, I mean, I ain't no Layla Ali or nothing, but I ain't never lost a fight. But if I had lost a fight, I would definitely want a rematch. Like fuck that shit. We gonna fight every time we see each other.